My name is Shawna Aislynn. I just wanted to read something that I got today. It's called Save Yourself. So many long to be saved, so many crying out to be healed, and yet they don't know. They don't know that they hold the power. They don't know that they hold the spark that has been lit inside everyone. Every soul exists as pure energy, pure light. Each of you holds that light within, and only you can save yourself. God cannot save you. God can only lead you in the direction of change. He was only ever meant to be your guide, only ever meant to be the teacher that brings you the lesson. It is within yourself that you must find it. When life brings pain, God's lessons, no matter how big or how small, your only job is to seek within yourself what the lesson is. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Perhaps you are homeless, living on the streets, tired and hungry. Ask yourself, what led me here? Was it not the choices that you made when life handed you a curve? Perhaps addiction consumes you. Ask yourself, where am I weak? For weakness is the problem, the only thing to fix. The weakness of the heart versus the mind. The mind tells you lots of things, that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not powerful enough, but that is only the ego talking. If I had just been stronger, if only I could have resisted, these thoughts are useless, for what's done is done. Each day is a new beginning, a fresh start to find the lesson and learn. Maybe you were born into poverty or abuse, and you ask yourself, what have I ever done? How could I have deserved such pain? But you need to step back, see the bigger picture. It's not about what you deserve, but what you gain from each trial. One day, if it hasn't already, the lesson will surface, and you will know. But you will never understand if you look too close. If all you see is the hunger and beatings, you have not yet learned the lesson, for it hasn't yet made itself known. Think about a man who grew up in strife, poor as dirt from the day he was born. One day, in his future, he will have to decide, where will this take me? Will I be resentful and filled with hate? Or will I rise above it, see the lesson at hand? For his lesson, in the absence of abundance, is easy. Rise above it. Work hard. Strive for greatness. And when the poor man strives, he gains. He lands a job and he works hard. He earns every cent. Life moves at a pace he becomes content with for a time. Then another lesson comes, another chance to rise. Does he go out for drinks after work each night, spending the money he worked so hard to make? Or does he save it for a time until he can rise higher? And that is not to say you can't spend money. It is yours and you have free will. But if the poor man saves, one day he buys a house. Another lesson learned. That man receives a bonus and he puts it away for a rainy day. And when that rainy day comes, so comes the lesson. A broken down car, it needs a new battery, but bills are due and money's tight. He dips into his rainy day fund and another lesson has been learned. Be prepared for the next trial, as trials never stop coming. Such is life, and more trials reign, but the man has grown strong. Looking back on his life, he sees it, the big picture. He understands that he grew from poverty into comfort, but only by the lessons he learned did he do so. There will always be lessons to learn, for they are the way we grow. We stay stuck when we refuse to see what God is teaching. Not fail, but refuse to see, because our eyes have been closed by society. We've been taught not to trust ourselves, to trust an outside source. We listen to commands and demands of others, stuffing down our thoughts and opinions. And that is not to say it is wrong, for every now and then we all must bite our tongues. But when the lesson is great, when you see it, do not keep quiet, stand tall. Rise above, and if you fall, tomorrow is a brand new day. We can never go back, for time exists in a constant forward motion, but we can reflect and learn. Maybe you yelled at your child for something silly, realized that you felt unheard. Maybe you stole a candy bar from the store, understand that you felt some sort of lack. Every action has a cause, even if we do not know what that cause is. Every reaction, especially unconscious ones, are clues as to where we are hurt. Don't chastise yourself for reacting brashly. Learn to apologize and make it right. For when we apologize, we allow ourselves to recognize that something we did was wrong. And knowing the wrong is the first step in righting it. We do not only apologize for the feelings of the victim, but for our own. Voicing the wrong, it makes you feel it. And when you feel its wrongness, you can then understand how to make it right. Not all wrongs are so easily fixable, and they take time to heal. Years of neglect, abuse, emotional or physical, these are things that take time. They require forgiveness even when you haven't received an apology, and forgiveness is not such an easy thing. The saying goes, to forgive is to forget, but that is wrong. We do not ever forget the actions of others unto us, how they made us feel, how they changed our view of the world. It is just simply not something to be forgotten. For those are the lessons you learn throughout life. What we do forget is the pain, not all of it, but the sting no longer burns. We learn to accept, try to understand, and grow. And as we grow, the pain subsides, but the lesson sticks. Life is all in the understanding. The mother hits her child because she was hit, and to understand her wound is to understand the pain. We do not have to accept her wounds, for they are hers, but we have to be able to understand them. Her path had a choice at one point or another, to do right by her child or continue the pattern. So many of us get stuck in the patterns. That's how it was, so that's how it must be. But the heart knows. The heart knows when something is not right. You can know in your heart what that mother did was wrong, and hold understanding that no one had ever shown her another way. It does not mean you accept her wounds or the wounds that she gave you, but you accept that she was human and made choices all her own, and in accepting that, your heart will grow. The heart was always meant to be your guide. It is where God whispers the truth. The inner knowing is his knock at your door, your guiding light to make the right choice. God cannot make the choices for you, for he gave us all free will. But he will and does guide us in the right direction in his own subtle ways. Maybe it's numbers you see on the clock, maybe butterflies on a rainy day. There are always signs that he is near, if only your eyes would seek them, if only your ears would hear his call, the whisper of your name calling you in its direction, the lyric in the song you've been playing on repeat. He tells us he is near, and when you know this, when you see and hear him, he only grows louder and more clear. God is but the guiding hand, and you are his children. Just as a father steadies the toddler learning to walk, he steadies us in the face of life's ever-changing direction. But only if we allow him to. That is free will. You can choose to hear him or not, decide to see him or not, decide to listen to him or not. The choice is yours. And sometimes we don't need him. Sometimes our past lessons have taught us well, and we have learned to stand on our own, and that's okay. That's wonderful. It only continues to prove that you are strong. But if you fall, know that he will be there to cushion the blow. Every day is a new beginning. Every day you rise fresh and new. Each day an opportunity to make better choices, and that is not to say you must be perfect. Even the Lord himself is not perfect, but imperfectly balanced. So you gave in to anger, addiction, or cruel language. The Lord does not chastise you or smite you, but waits for the heart to catch up, because eventually that anger subsides. The addiction no longer brings pleasure, but pain, and the cruel language comes back upon you. Every choice is a lesson itself, every obstacle a chance to learn, a chance to rise. Learn the lessons, that is all he asks. Seek the good and the bad, find meaning in the hurt, and you will go far. Every time you make a choice for the good, you better yourself, and by proxy, better your life. What you live is what you choose. You create your reality. If you are negative and believe the world sucks, then it does. You will see it on the news, hear it on the radio, receive it from the tongues of your fellow man. Just as if you are positive and believe the world is bright, so shall it be. You will notice the little things, the small joys of life that bring smiles upon our faces, sunshine on a cool fall day, a child's laughter as they play at the park. These are the joys that make life worthwhile, and they are available to you always. You just have to think better, be better, and the world will open up to you. It is not as bleak as it seems when you take a step back and be grateful for the small joys of life. The world is full of propaganda, full of hearsay and nonsense. We exist in a state of wonderland where everything is backwards and upside down. We smile at our neighbors, then snicker behind their backs. We donate to organizations while we ignore the poor. Give to the rich while our fellow brother starves. We idolize sex and celebrities while telling our children they're behaving wrong. But where did they learn? Who showed them the way? You. Do we want our children parading in the streets, fighting for broken systems and flaunting sexuality as if it doesn't matter? The things that should be kept private are scrutinized by the public eye, and the wickedness that is hidden is left unsaid. We allow control from our leaders, allow them to break the privacy of our own homes, and yet we hide our shame in the dark. It is not until that shame sees the light of day that the mirror will flip. For many of you exist on the wrong side of the looking glass. In the light of day, shame seeks repentance. Private matters should stay private, for who are you to judge your fellow man? Sexuality especially has become so prevalent in today's society. Who are we to judge? Who are we to tell wrong from right when none of you can stand to even judge yourselves? Who are we to say what another does is wrong, if what we do in the dark is not right? Sexuality was never meant to be scrutinized, never meant to be a fighting stance, and it isn't. It's not up for debate who one loves. It's not up for debate what one does in the privacy of their own home. It's just not. Mind your business, because that nose of yours grows longer every time you speak. You think you know what you are preaching, think you know what is right and just, but only the Lord can decide that. What happens in the dark does not stay hidden, for God sees all, and in due time, when the lesson is to be learned, he who has done wrong will receive his punishment. He who hides in the dark spaces can never truly be hidden, for those who do wrong have only been allowed to do so by God's hand. And only so far will they travel that path before he steps in to teach them their lessons. That is not to instill fear, for fear is not the way, but a promise that all receive what they have earned by their actions. That is why actions speak louder than words, for I can say I love you, then turn around and spit in your face. The tongue can say anything. It is an untamable creature, and when the mind is weak, the tongue is strong. When the mind is too fearful to take a stand, the words that come out are almost never right. And when you speak to your fellow man, he listens. And when he listens, he feels. Feelings are the way we categorize things. Feelings tell us when something is good or bad, funny or sad, and we file that information away for later use. A weak mind allows words spoken to it to become its voice, but a strong mind will reassure itself, I am strong. Tell a man he is stupid, and so shall he be. Tell a man he is scum, and so shall he be, for his inner voice becomes the words that we speak to him, and if nothing nice has ever been said, that inner voice is tainted. It wrestles with itself, and darkness always gets the upper hand, unless you train the mind to recognize it, to see it before it comes, to quell it before it lingers. Self-talk is a powerful tool. Speak kindly to yourself and your mind will be more at ease. For if you can tell yourself kind words, the brain will start to believe it. We believe what we speak, for it casts like a spell into the air. If we speak from lies and deception, so shall we believe them. If we speak from truth and love, so shall we believe them. The mind is only as strong as you allow it to be. Master it. Don't let it push you around. This is your vessel, your reality. Make it a place you want to live by first telling yourself that it is. That brings us to gratitude. Be grateful for everything. Everything you have yet to receive. Maintain a grateful heart and it will find more grace. Find joy in the ladybug that landed on your sweater. Find comfort in a soft blanket or peace in a quiet moment. Be grateful for the things you have and release what does not sing to your heart. Be gracious to one another. Offer a helping hand where you can and be grateful that you could. Gratitude is easy. You just have to believe that it is. You might say, well, what about kids born with sickness and incurable disease or starving artists on the street? What do they have to be grateful for? And the answer can only lie with them. They still have a choice to find gratitude in life, and many, many of them do. Some are more grateful than those with fortune and fame because they know that everything they have is precious. The artist may not have food to eat today, but he cradles his paints in his arms so they don't get drenched by the pouring rain. Is he not grateful then for the paints that he has? Is he not grateful then for the creativity that allows him to wield them? Are the sick not grateful that they woke up another day, that they have treatment and medicine at their disposal? Not all hands are distributed equally. Family lines decide your place. The strength of your soul decides your place. And that can look unfair, but fairness isn't life. Fairness isn't how it is decided you will live. It is by the choices of your soul. Some choose awful existence, filled with pain, hunger, and sickness, but they choose it to teach and to learn. The child with cancer not only learns, but teaches true love, true compassion. They live it every day that they fight and their families fight for them. They teach the most broken souls that love is strong and most precious. They learn that time is a thief and that they cannot take back yesterday, but only hope for tomorrow. Some souls must learn these hard lessons, and it is not up to any of us to decide if their hand was fair, for only God can decide. Earth is but a school, and all of us her students. We come here to better ourselves, to gain knowledge that is not available anywhere else, for the human existence is its own creation, and the lessons learned are great. Every single one of us is here to learn, every single one. And if you do not learn, you try again and again and again. You reincarnate into existences that match your current state. If you are proud, you will be humbled. If you are cruel, you will be mistreated. Life throws at you, which you throw at it. Make sure what you throw is not an axe. 3 words I want to leave you with: courage, empathy, and grace. Stand tall in the face of each trial. Listen to your inner flame. Feel deeply not only your emotions, but the feelings of those you have affected. Walk with grace. Be kind and polite, and when you misstep, continue the dance, for you will only fall when you have stopped believing that you can.